Alright, it's going good out here now. That's what you would expect when you got it really dead grass. It's from actually being burnt down by that glyphosate, and it helps it carry fire much better. So we're gonna go around. I'm gonna show you how. So let's just crank this thing up, and you can take a ride with me. Let's check this thing out while it's rip roaring. It's gonna do good. It feels so dry. See, it's carrying real good flame lengths. I mean, you got some 4 or 5 foot flame lengths. That's what you want to prep a field. Lost my drip torch, fell on me. Yeah, you see those flames. That's really good, really good. We've already got it ringed around, so there's no real concern with it jumping the line. I did, and I'll show you, I did run that line right there just with my boomless with some water, because you can kind of tell right there it was starting to creep. No big deal, nothing to really worry about, but hey man, this looks great. This looks real good. These flame lengths are gonna nuke this thing down where we get a good site prep. So show y'all what it looks like when we're done. Praise the Lord. What's up? I want to just show y'all this video since I burnt this field. It's for my deer plot. As I said, we're going to plant in wheat, oats, grain rye, and a little bit of crimson arrowleaf and white clover with a little daikon radish. So let y'all look at it. Burned it did as good as I liked. I actually burned it in the evenings. Once you have inversion taking place where you have a lot of moisture in there settling, it makes it a lot harder to get a good hot fire. Probably should have waited and done it towards midday. I did come in here and relight it again yesterday, but even after that, I've got some patchy areas that are a little greener. Probably could have hit it harder with some glyphosate, but I feel like I hit it pretty good. As I said, I've put about 96 ounces out here. That's a lot for an acre and a half. It's about 2%, and I feel like it kills pretty good, but these fields could have been a little drier, but it's tilling up real nice. So I'm running across it with the tiller right now, and I'm almost halfway done. Just kind of wanted to show y'all what it looks like. And see here, you can tell the difference there. I mean, the burn did pretty good. There's still a lot of some of that's residual fescue, a lot of horse nettle out there. This used to be hay fields for years and years, so that's why you get a lot of pasture grasses, pasture weeds. Never really done any kind of soil active chemical out here, at least I have not, but glyphosate and burning, and then of course we're gonna till it up, spread it with a spreader. I've got about 150 pounds of the grains and about 10 pounds of those small seeds, which is going to be my clover and a little bit of radish. We'll see how that does. I've got my cultipacker fixed, so we're going to run across it after I spread it with a cultipacker just to get it in the ground, and then we'll see how it goes. Catch y'all soon, and we'll see some results hopefully here before long. What's up, y'all? Hope you can hear me over the tractor. I wanted to show y'all this while I'm running this cultipacker. I know I've talked about it a little bit. You can see behind me, this is the field that I burnt, one of my dove fields prior, and I've got the field in front of me. Here's my deer plot. I've already burned it, I've tilled it. Now we're going to run over it with a cultipacker, and I've spread it too, spread my seed. So all those things being done, we're going to have a great food plot. And I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to try to get a little bit of footage of the cultipacker itself running so you can kind of see. The cultipacker is pretty heavy, so just the weight of it alone is going to help press your seed down to the ground. And you can see these tiny little rows that it makes, right? In reality, I mean, you don't need to get seed that deep. A lot of your recommendations are going to call for like you know, 1 to 2 inches on your larger grains. If you've got bare dirt and soil contact, you don't have to get it that deep. It does help it establish a little better root structure, but I don't have a disc to put it in that deep. And plus, I like this cultipacker because it's actually, since I added clover, you don't want the clover that deep at all. And so with it being a mixture of clover and grains, that clover only needs to be, you know, 1/4 inch or less, or even just sitting on top of the ground. Otherwise it gets buried too deep. So I want to show you all this. This is the cultipacker. It's just a Land Pride 6 foot. Sorry, I just accidentally, I always do that on this thing, accidentally hit my bucket. So I'm gonna try to run this a little bit and let y'all see what it looks like as I'm going. It's hard for me because I don't have anything to hold this. Need some more equipment, but I'll see if I can get this to work. So all we're doing is dropping the 3-point down to where we're hitting the ground, and then just rolling it across. Okay. Give it a little more gas. And you can see how it's just rolling it over, pressing it down in. You kind of see the variation from where it's been packed versus where it hasn't been packed. Okay, so makes a nice, good, firm seed bed. You can actually do it before you seed and then after. I have seen people take like barrels, drums and stuff like that, fill it with water. I even heard of people filling old steel barrels with concrete, putting holes in the middle of them. A lot of different ways you can makeshift them, but this is a old Land Pride that we had, me and my daddy used on our hunting club, and I basically had to fix that arm that holds your 3-point. It was broken, so I got a new one, put it on there, fixed it, and got it working, and it's here on our farm. So we're gonna get this thing cultipacked out. I got to go all the way across the field, of course, get all the way to the other side, and then it should be done. Then we just wait for the Lord to bring the rain. Now, I've been complaining about rain all year, and I knew it. As soon as I put my seed in the ground, the rain chances go down. But it's the Lord just testing my patience. That's okay. We get rain when He's good and ready to send it. It'll be a blessing. We'll be thankful for it then. So hopefully, Lord willing, we'll see something soon with some germination. And once we do, I'll make another video. So catch you guys soon. What's up? Wanted to show you all this real quick. So we've about got it done cultipacking. You can see the cultipacker there. But I have taken out my exclusion fence. So if you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you. This is, and you call it exclusion cage, whatever. People make them a lot of different ways. I used 5-foot tomato stakes that I already had, which I use for a lot of things. Like tree tubes are good to hold up. They're not as sturdy as metal ones. They're really thin. Just bought them off Amazon, 50 at a time. They're super cheap. But I also had some of this welded wire. You can see I just made a big hoop. It needs to be about 3 foot by 3 foot, 4 foot by 4 foot. It's good, as long as the deer are excluded from it. And what's going to happen is you're going to have an area outside that's grown up with your forage, inside with the forage not being grazed, and that's the key. And that's going to tell you kind of what your grazing rate is. You could also do this in a pasture with cattle or small ruminants like goats, sheep, whatever. Works pretty good, and it gives you a good idea of what your animals are really hitting. You can even see like their selection. There may be a lot of like the radish early in the season that's sitting in there because it's more keyed in on later after you have frost, and it's some of the only stuff left. Not so much the case here in the south like Alabama, but again, like northern states, it's going to be key. So anyway, also wanted to show y'all how much difference there is in what you can see that's been cultipacked versus this over here that has not. So I have in the past, I didn't mention this to y'all earlier, but I have used a drag before I got that cultipacker fixed. The drag does okay, but when you see stuff like thatch, like this right here, it's pretty thick buildup. When that cultipacker goes across it, it just rolls, okay? And you can see how it presses the seed down into the ground. You can even see a lot of the seed here. There's wheat, a lot of stuff, oats, more wheat. And these rollers, they're gonna press it down in the ground. You can see those furrows that it's making, okay? Get it down enough. For one, that's gonna protect it from birds, and it's also gonna keep it more moist, because you can see like just below the dirt, you can tell the moisture there, and you can see that's pretty moist, right? Even clods up a little bit, whereas right above the surface dry as a bone just from sun. But with the cultipacker, it rolls across, so it doesn't end up dragging. These dirt clods can get piled up and they'll bunch up, and with a drag they just drag all your seed, okay, and scatter your seed more than you want to. It gets clumped up. It doesn't work nearly as well as a cultipacker will. So I just wanted to show y'all that. Really cool. In fact, I'm gonna take a picture real quick because I like this view. So anyway, once it starts graining up and we get some growth, Lord willing, I'm gonna show y'all how it looks. But all we're gonna do is just push this exclusion cage in real quick and let it sit and let everything grow. So what's inside will be from germination to, you know, whenever it starts getting hit hard. So hope y'all enjoy. See y'all soon. All right, here we are, a week removed, I believe, to the day. Maybe 8 days. It's last Wednesday, I think, when I got this food plot planted. So got some pretty good green up. You can already see we had on Saturday, after we shot some pretty good bunch of dove, we had about 0.4 inches of rain, and it was just enough to get germination on everything. So just gonna kind of show you all the progress here. See, this looks like Austrian winter peas coming up. Still a lot of seed you can see on the ground, and so we need a little more precipitation for some more germination, but it looks overall pretty good. From down here looking ground level, you can really see a lot of that greening up. So pretty excited about it. I think it's gonna do really well. It's probably the best site prep I've done on my food plots in the past. I've been here 3 years now, that I've been doing them 4 years, and this is really the best I've done so far with getting good smooth seed to soil contact. So I think it looks awesome. I had one little hang up, and you can actually see where it's greener right around in there. That is from me. Well, I pull up the 3-point on my tractor, and it hit the back of my roll bar because it was folded down, and opened up my spreader full blast. So as soon as I noticed, I turned it off, but you can actually see where it like made a huge ring of green. So it's just really heavily seeded right there, but it looks pretty consistent across, other than that, which is just being a really green spot. But it looks really good to me. Now that I'm down here, I can actually see the green across the field. So pretty excited, ready for it to green up. And once we stop shooting dove, then we'll be able to put the feeder back out here. I'm not big on feeding, but I do like just to be able to have it out here to bring the deer in to watch in the evenings, in the mornings. You know, just don't really sit on top of it and hunt, but I do like to have it out here to kind of bring them in. And once this food plot gets up and green, they'll be really hammering it hard. So hopefully we get a little bit more rain, if the Lord's willing, and He brings some rain for us, then we'll be blessed, and we know He brings it for our good and His glory. So hopefully that'll happen sooner rather than later, but hey, we're going to thank God for the blessings nonetheless. Even just being able to have this, because last year we actually had 30 days almost of drought throughout October. So just this right here is certainly a blessing from God, and we're definitely appreciative of that. So hopefully next time I'll have a very lush green field to show you guys. So catch y'all soon. I'm gonna give a little more clip here because you can see how much the deer have been browsing on these. And these are those daikon radishes, and what they do is they get down in the ground deep, what's called tiller in your soil. Those roots keep your soil broke up, keep it aerated, really good for the soil. That's why they're recommended a lot in the industry for cover crops. Farmers finish harvesting their summer annuals like corn, soybeans, cotton, and then come in here after, put these in, and it's like aerating the soil for them. And it leaves good cover on the ground. It's a good cover crop, good big broad leaves. But look at how they've been eating these because they're on the edge of this food plot. Here's my tree start. They've been coming out here and eating all these along the edges here. They're all getting hit. Another one there. So it's like they come out here and they eat these on the edge. You can see a lot of them out here. A lot of them been getting hit. Not so much in the middle, but they eat them right here on the edges and when they're tender. And I mean, there's a lot of this wheat and oats getting hit too. And you can see where it's getting clipped off. A lot of it I'm seeing. But they're hitting these radishes a lot harder than I expected them to. Anyways, thought I'd show you guys that. It's really interesting to see them hitting them really hard like that. I know they're gonna hammer that wheat for a while, and the oats and the grain rye once they get up going too. And they all growing pretty good. So, man, they are hitting these radishes hard though. Glad to see that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy. I think I got a good food plot in the end here. Maybe I'll be able to catch one I hadn't seen on camera yet, a big one out here. Give him a little 200-yard dirt nap again. Be blessed, guys.